The practice squad guys have been named, and Craig Reynolds is one of them. Let's Talk Lions. Welcome back to an all-new episode here at Let's Talk Lions. My name is Jay. Thanks for hanging out today. So obviously we've had the 53-man roster situation go down. We got the initial one, then guys kind of get released. Something to be noted here is you look at both Tim Boyle and Da'Shawn Hand. These guys are placed on the IR. With that happening, we had let go both Darren Fells and Dean Marlowe. Well, because we place both Boyle and Hand on the IR, we then bring back Darren Fells and Dean Marlowe. So those guys are back, re-signed on the roster. Now let's get to the practice squad. Yesterday, they did release the initial 15-man practice squad. However, a couple of those guys, 4 of them to be exact, have been cut. And then we have brought on a few other, I believe 5 other guys. So we are officially at the 16-man capacity. But 4 of these guys specifically I'd like to talk about, just kind of hone in on. So when you look, we did bring in a quarterback to fill this slot. That's because of Tim Boyle. Tim Boyle goes to the IR. We obviously are looking to carry 3 QBs. So we bring in quarterback Steven Montez. So Montez was actually an undrafted free agent who signed back with Washington in 2020. So that's where he was last year. We bring him in this year. Quite frankly, we're probably never going to see this guy play. Like, unless Jared Goff goes down and then Tim Boyle's like, oh my God, I got a migraine, I can't play. And then we're like, oh crap, now we go to QB3. That's when a guy like Montez would come in. Now, looking at Boyle, he is on the IR to at least week 4 against Chicago. The hope is that Tim Boyle would be back by week 4, week 5, and then we could say sayonara to Montez. Now, the one thing that Montez does offer is he is a dual threat quarterback. When you kind of look at his stats, you look what the guy's been able to do, what he was able to do in Colorado. He offers both an arm and a leg. He is a dual threat QB. Maybe not the greatest. Maybe that's why he's QB3. However, he does offer mobility, and that's quite nice, especially when looking at Jared Goff, David Blau, maybe not the most mobile guys. So to have that dual threat, could be interesting. Next up, no need to cancel that subscription to Netflix because we just signed an annual deal. Get it? I was trying to go for like canceling an actual subscription to Netflix, and then if you pay less if you do the annual deal versus like the month-to-month. Terrible joke, I get it. So we have brought back Craig Reynolds. I suppose that the coaching staff heard every one of us fans shouting from the rooftops, asking them to bring back Reynolds. He's a fan favorite. He really is. I mean, you look at the grind that Reynolds has given. You look at the work that he's put in. He shows up one day before the preseason game against Buffalo. He's literally meeting people on the sideline. He's like, hi, my name's Craig. I'm here to go run the ball. Gets out there, puts his head down, does work, has a day against Buffalo. He was our rushing leader that day. Same with next week against Pittsburgh. Craig Reynolds put in the work, but there's obviously something about him that the coaching staff looks at and says, okay, you're not where we need you to be yet. However, we want to sign you to this practice squad because we think that you can get there. Now, looking at a guy like DeAndre Swift, who's already had some sort of groin injury coming into this year, listen, if your running backs go down and you can have another option down the line, that's huge. A guy like Craig Reynolds obviously is a hard worker. He's got the work ethic. He's putting it in, and he wants to be something. He is perfecting his craft, and it's awesome. We are all super excited to see Reynolds on the practice squad because that means, look, a guy like Tom Kennedy, who has been grinding on the practice squad since 2019, has finally made the active roster. Well, you could see a similar story for a guy like Craig Reynolds, especially in a position group where, man, 1 or 2 guys go down, and it does happen often. You could actually see him come into the limelight. We do hope the best for Craig Reynolds. Super excited about this one. From there, we signed undrafted free agent Sage Surratt to the practice squad. Here's a guy who was injured back in 2019 in college. I think he had a shoulder injury. He opts out of the 2020 season, so he's coming in a little bit rusty. When we signed him as an undrafted free agent, there's excitement there, but I was like, man, there's a very slim chance that we see Surratt on the active roster, especially where we started putting our money with some of these other undrafted free agents. Felt like SURRATT is kind of more of a gamble, a little bit of a Yahtzee out there. He struggled with separation, dropped the ball a couple times, wasn't his best showing. Still a little rusty, still a lot of work to put in. I mean, he's 6'2", 209, 210 pounds. So you look at him, you look at his size, I think he could offer a bright future. It's just going to take the right amount of time, effort, energy to get him where he needs to go after 2 missed seasons. And lastly, we got to talk about the kicking situation. We obviously signed ZANE GONZALEZ back to the practice squad. That's after letting both Wright and Bullock go. We let all of our kickers go, make room for the waivers. We bring in a couple other guys, and then we sign ZANE GONZALEZ to the practice squad. There's going to be a kicking battle here in Detroit. It's between ZANE GONZALEZ and Austin Seibert. I think that's how you say his name. If not, I'm sorry, Seibert. Seibert played with both the Browns and the Bengals. He actually came into the league in 2019. And when you look at his stats, up to 39 yards, he's 20 for 20. Up to 49 yards, he's 10 for 15. And then it's really 50 and up, he's 1 for 3. Overall, his field goal kicking percentage is an 81%. Extra point percentage at an 86. So, hey, he's only got 2 seasons under him. A little bit iffy on that. However, we'll see how him and GONZALEZ compete for this position. But hey, that's the update for today. Just a little bit of news, just a little update for our boys in Honolulu Blue. And if you didn't know it, you can buy this hat in the link in the description. Pretty good time. Let's Talk Lions hat. Just click on that link, go there, make the purchase. Running out, slowly running out, so get yours now, or don't. And don't forget, this Saturday, 11 a.m., having a live stream, 1-year anniversary for Let's Talk Lions. So join me there. We'll talk about the 53-man roster. I'll hear your thoughts. You'll hear more of mine. We'll talk it up. It'll be a good time. And so, as always, I'll continue to keep you updated here on Let's Talk Lions.